And joining us now on RSBN is country star Neal McCoy. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting us, letting us come on there and tell everybody about what we got going on.
You know what's awesome about this? I mean, country music and patriotism usually go hand in hand, but specifically with you, is it on Facebook that you say the Pledge of Allegiance every day, and you've done that for almost 10 years now?
Yes, sir. I'm 2 days short of 10 years without missing a day. So we're pretty proud of it. And a lot of people, they tell us that their day doesn't even start until they officially have said the Pledge of Allegiance with me in the morning. And that's kind of them to say that. But we do have a lot of folks that watch us, and maybe some of the older folks that are home by themselves or maybe in a nursing home and don't get a chance to see many people. They wait for me to say the pledge, and they said we just are so excited because we don't get to see people much and we don't get to say the pledge much, so we know we say it every day with you, so it makes me feel good.
That's pretty awesome. And for that being 10 years coming up on January 7th, it's pretty awesome. Let's talk about country music, and then we'll dive into patriotism, of course. Right. Again, two hand-in-hand things. Let's talk about your career in country music. You know, what advice would you give to people out there that are saying, man, I'm trying to enter into that Nashville scene? It's not easy, but, how did you start?
I would tell them, here's the thing. I've never lived in Nashville, Tennessee. I was fortunate enough that I was able to have my cake and eat it too. I was able to stay in Longview, Texas, where we live, and raise our family the way we wanted to raise our family. And we took a chance on the career, and we've had a pretty good career too. So we've been pretty fortunate. But I was one of those people that you're right. They'll ask me, what do I need to move to Nashville? And I go, well, you can just be prepared that you may not ever see the light of day. It's a pretty tough town. There's a lot of great talent in there, and the person I'm talking to could be very talented also. I just said, you got to do your time there. You got to show. You got to be at things that you may not want to go to, but you got to keep having people see your face. And then sometimes when you have an opportunity to play or perform in front of somebody, you better have your opportunity and better study for it and be good. Maybe your only chance.
Yeah, and be good is an interesting thing, because the talent level there, when you go to restaurants and bars on Lower Broadway, it's some great talent just on Lower Broadway, let alone the Ryman, the Grand Ole Opry, places outside of Tennessee and Texas where you're from as well. It's a competitive area, so you've obviously broken through that and are a country superstar, and now you are partnering with Allied Flags for your limited edition flag as well. So can you talk to us about that as well?
Sure, I can. They're out of Kansas City, and they make about 5,000 flags a day. All-American company, all-American workers. They sew in the stars and extra stitching, and so they put their all and their effort into making their flags. Their way of showing people that they love our country. And so I saying the Pledge of Allegiance to a flag every morning. It made sense for me to reach out to them or somebody that we knew both of them, and they said we ought to get you all together and see if there's any way you can work together. And now I'm sure I'm on board with them, and with a commemorative collectible flag box that if you order it from nealmccoy.com, I'm going to sign them and get them out to you. But you can get them at Allied Flag or nealmccoy.com, one of those two. So, but it's something that is just telling people, thank you. This is our way we let you understand that because y'all have held me accountable for 10 years in a row without missing a day. This is what we want to make a we'll offer to you on this flag.
Exactly, and I looked at the display, the flag, everything. It looks great on there as well. Let's talk about, we'll get into the holidays, how your holidays were in a second, but I want to ask you about the actual words in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we know it starts out, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Let's start there. What does that mean to you?
Well, the United States of America means the world to me. My mom is from the Philippines. My father met her during the Korean conflict. He graduated from Texas A&M in 1952, got his draft papers and his diploma just about the same time. But from the engineering and surveying degree that he had, the Army Corps of Engineers said, hey, we're going to send you to the Philippines where you can start helping us there with locating stuff on maps and doing just however you can. Dad was a pretty sharp guy. So they used him. He was just from a small town in Texas, Jacksonville, Texas, where I was also born and raised. So he fell madly in love with a Filipino lady. He ended up marrying her. They had my brother born there a year after that, and then they moved back to Jacksonville, Texas, where they had my sister and I. And it's just so we've known, and when you live with somebody that's not from the United States of America, and we were around our mom obviously every day. She would tell us kids, you ought to be grateful for the things you get to do over here, because there's just not many, if any, other countries that let you do what you basically want to do, and they just put you out there to where you can determine what you're going to be or not be. And there's other countries just don't have the opportunity to do that. So mom was one that stayed on us kids. So from a patriot standpoint, I have loved our country because our mom basically said, you're going to know your God and you're going to love your country. And that's one thing that all three of us kids have done. So I know mom and dad, they both passed away 6 and 7 years ago, but I know they're proud of the way we came out, and the way, not where you get to, but how you get there. I think it's equally as important.
Exactly. God, family, the United States of
Yes,
America,
sir.
country, freedom. And let's talk
Yes, sir.
about, freedom and justice, because if you look at the pledge, of course, at the end, it says, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Isn't that what
That's
it's
right.
all about? Freedom and justice in this country?
Yes, sir. In the one nation under God, I tell people when I read it, I say, I may, you may not say it exactly the same way I do. I said, there's no comma when you're reading it in between the one nation and under God. So that is very important. And I think when you mention God, family, country, my wife and I have been married 45 years. And that's people will say to me, well, that's a lot in your business. I said, it's a lot anywhere. I mean, at 45 years is 45 years. But when you've got it all figured out, or you think you got it figured out, or to a certain point, and you do have your family in line, and you do have your God in mind and your country in mind, then it's just a win-win-win. And that's the background we come from. And that's why we're saying the pledge, and we try and encourage other folks to get on board and say it with us, and they have. We got a lot of followers.
Exactly. And to your point, I believe people that love common sense have a lot of it figured out, because it really doesn't have to
That's
be
right.
reinventing the wheel, right? I mean, it's
That's
something,
exactly right.
it's our human experience here. We know that there's a God, and we love our family, love our country, love our freedoms. And
Right.
I believe anybody
Yes, sir.
across the world would say that, except for those that are trying to take away the freedoms, right? I mean,
Exactly.
we got to keep
That's
fighting
exactly
for
right.
it, right?
That's exactly right.
All right. So, sir, talk to us about the holidays. Obviously, we had Christmas, we had Thanksgiving as well. We didn't catch up with you then. So how were they for you, speaking of family?
Everything was great. Again, since our parents have passed, they're not there anymore, but we try and see, excuse me, my brother and sister and all of our sides of the family get together. And it really is, it's tacky and terrible as it is to say, it's about the only chance that we can get together, because we all move. I know you were talking about you're from Pennsylvania, but you're in Alabama now. And so we're all trying to keep our family in order. And in doing that, it takes a lot of time. So when you get all of our families together, that's a real special moment, because they just don't happen much anymore. And my brother and sister, we joke about it every once in a while, but they'll say, well, I guess we'll see you at the next funeral. I said, yeah, don't say that. It could be mine.
No, I hear you on that. And also some of the tours and some of the cities you're playing in, I saw that I believe it was Florida or something coming up in just a few days from now. But
Yes,
in
sir.
general,
We're still Florida.
yeah, exactly. So talk to us about some of where you travel now, and also what other acts have you worked with out there across the country?
Well, we've worked with a lot of folks out here because we've been around a long time. So our odds of working with somebody are better than maybe somebody who's only been around 5 or 10 years. But we still work mainly United States of America and Canada, but we've been all over the world. I've done 17 USO tours in the last 23 years, and that's taken me to Korea, Japan, Iraq, Afghanistan, a bunch of different places where our troops are. Not all of them are in theater, in critical situations, but some of them are. But we try and visit all of them, and we don't always have time to perform for them. We sometimes just get there to shake their hands and hug their necks and let them know what our country feels about them, and that's enough for us. But any tour, I've been asked also, what's your greatest tour or your memories of a tour? And I say, any chance I get to go on a USO tour, those are great memories for me, because I know my granddad was in the World War, and my father was in the Korean conflict, and so I come by it honest that I know what they went through, and I've heard from my granddad and my dad all our lives, and so now, as to me, this is a way that I can serve our country by by reaching out to these troops that are stationed wherever they are and letting them know that you got everybody at home that cares for you and loves you to death.
And also the talent. What's it like for you to have this great talent, but then to be able to do, to your point, to share it with this country and the world, but not only for entertainment, but just to show that extra amount of love, especially to our troops overseas. That must make you feel good, sir.
It does. And when you're visiting with them, wherever you running into them, they'll say, you know what, we sure thank y'all for taking your time and to come over here, especially at Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving, when we can't be home. And we tell them, look, I know it looks like we're trying to get a pat on the back, but I tell them, I promise we're not. We're here for you. We come here because we know the things at Thanksgiving, Christmas, when you would rather be home, and you can't get there, then we want to let you know that people, your families, and everybody at home really pulls for you. So we've just been fortunate enough that we've been put into situations where we can, for a living, I bring joy to people. I mean, it's pretty simple. And then when we do it right, then the crowds gives us back to what we're giving to them. And there's just been, when they walk away and when we get back on the bus, it's like, oh my gosh, that's like leaving a friend's house. I hate to go. Can you play another 3 hours or something? I go, no, now you have to go. I'm going to bed.
Exactly. I mean, other than a pat on the back, I mean, think about it. You're out there in the Middle East. You're out there in Asia. You're all over the world. That is actions louder than words. You know what I mean? So
thank you.
It's great to see that. And can you tell us where people can watch your daily Pledge of Allegiance?
You can. Thank you for letting me do that. On our Facebook page, which is at Neal McCoy Music or at multi-platinum selling country artist. It's you can just go there. If you go at Neal McCoy, you'll run into it. But we're on our Facebook page, and we have a lot of people that know we're coming to their towns or something. They'll try and be there in the morning when I usually average about 10 a.m. to say the pledge. They'll try and be there at the bus door, and so they can say it with me. So I'll come off the bus. We have a big flag on our bus, and we say it to that flag. And it's a small thing for me to take the time to do it, but it's a huge thing for them to have the opportunity to say the Pledge of Allegiance with us. They'll go back and tell their friends and neighbors and their grandkids for the long as they live. You know what? I said the Pledge of Allegiance with Neal McCoy one time. He came through here, and it's a big deal to them. So, and we're glad we can just brighten sometimes people's lives with just the smallest things.
And then partner with Allied Flags as well for that limited edition flag. Can you share with us that website again for people to check that out?
Sure, nealmccoy.com you can go to, or you can go to alliedflag.com. We always encourage you to go to nealmccoy.com because I'm going to autograph all those boxes that the flags come in. So it's just a special things that we like to do. If you can, sometimes people want something with whoever they're following, they want their autograph on it. And so we're trying to do that for them.
That's awesome stuff. And finally, can you share just some personal advice outside of even country music? Maybe something about success. I mean, you're obviously very successful. So what was it, though, that really got you to where you are today?
Just sticking to it. And somebody asked me, should I set a goal? How long should I try this thing? And I try to be truthful with them. And I just say, well, if you're going to really go after it, go after as hard as you can. Understand, but do set some kind of goal that if you've not gotten to that goal by a certain time in your life, then reevaluate, because you don't want to be one of these guys that are out here just chasing it every night and performing 6 nights a week and 5 hours a night, because I've been that guy, and that's not a lie for you or your family at all. So set a goal, but just and stick to it. That's the thing, and work hard and be nice to people. And when you do a show, try to be as good as you can be, and then treat people nice. That is the way we've kept working I'm 67 now, and we've been working at it 35, 40 years, because when we play a show somewhere, we'll make sure it's a great, great, great show. And then we'll be nice to the caterers and to the stagehands and the volunteers that are driving you around and from county fairs. Just be a nice person. That way, in 5 years, when they're looking for somebody to come play their fair and you're one of them, then a lot of times we'll get the nod, because their people say, man, he puts on a great show, and it was just really kind to everybody.
And I think
that's what we need. A little more kindness.
No, exactly. I agree with you. That is the secret sauce, if you will, for I think entertainers, performers, media, whoever, is to be genuine and resonate with the people. And I think that's what the people want, especially in media these days, of course. But thank you again, Country Star Neal McCoy, for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Have a great week. I know you have a number of interviews to get to, but thank you again for spending the time with us.
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.